Hello everybody. In this video we're going to be talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs and how you can use this to transform your life. Now, Abraham Maslow was a psychologist who dedicated a lot of his time in finding out what drives human behavior, what motivated us to do certain things, and why we put priority over certain actions at different times, and what were the circumstances that caused that. So in his lifetime he created a hierarchy of needs, like a pyramid, and let's just talk briefly about each one. At the base of the pyramid there was physiological needs, and this is our need for food, water, shelter, sex, bodily excretions. And just picture a scenario where you are really in need of peeing, or like you're really in need of like water, and someone says, I want you to think of that poetry you're writing, or I want you to think of that in next assignment. What's in your head is, I don't really care. I just want to get this handled. I just really need water. I really need food. I really need sleep. I really need to go to the toilet to pee or whatever. So this is the base of the pyramid, and this has a powerful influencer on our life, and this is why, by a lot of the time, is by developing healthy eating habits, hydrating well, sleeping well, etc., you can actually have better room and better energy and better force to be able to tackle all the other areas of your life. And if you don't have these areas handled, it makes all the other needs a lot harder. So the one above that is the need for security, a need for financial security, a need for physical security, and a need for emotional security. And an example of this is, say you've got the physiological needs handled, and then you find out that in work that some people are going to get laid off, and you might be one of them, and you haven't got any money in the bank. So all your thoughts and all your drive will be in the direction of, okay, maybe I need to, accumulate more money or find an extra job, etc. And this will start to run your motivation. It's the same with physical. Maybe you want to move in a nice area that's safe, etc., if you feel threatened. So the next one above that is our need for social connection, our need to feel like we belong in a community, our need for intimacy. And you can almost picture this as like, if you've got your physiological needs handled, you've got money in the bank, etc., you live in a nice area, but you have no friends, or you want an intimate relationship but you can't get one, and you feel alone, you feel isolated. And I don't mean like isolated in the sense that like you're taking some time of solitude. You generally, like, you have no mates and no friends, none of that. This will start to affect us because we're sociable beings. Human beings have evolved in tribal communities. Socializing does a lot for our brains. It keeps us active. And in terms of intimacy, the release of oxytocin that causes us to feel bonded with each other, reduces stress response. All these are very vital. So at a certain level, if we've got all the other needs handled, we will start to focus on this, and we'll be like, okay, maybe I've been in the house too much working on my career. Maybe I need to go out and socialize with my friends. So the one above this is the need for esteem. And esteem is how much you like yourself and how much you value yourself. And some people get this from their work. You could be surrounded by like loads of friends and have partners and stuff, but you may still have an internal feeling of, I don't like who I am. So this is something that we start to we start to work on, start to focus on, because we realize, we've got all these great things, what I mean? We've got like friends, family, roof over our head, etc. And still we don't feel really good about ourselves. So the next one above that is our need for self-actualization. And self-actualization is becoming the best that you can be. Finding your gifts, your passions, and exploring that. And self-actualization, some people criticize the hierarchy because they say you can never really be fully self-actualized, because there's always more that you can do. You can always become better at whatever it is that you want to do. But self-actualize is whenever you're in your full creativity, you're going all out in the things that you love to do, you're learning, you're growing. Maybe you're reading tons of books in the area, you're practicing a lot. And this is our need to be the best that we can be. And sometimes people feel this in life, where they may be in a calling, that they may be in a position that they may be good at, or maybe they hate, but it doesn't feel like they are becoming the best that they can be in that calling. And they have this drive that, like, hey, I could be doing more, I could be using more of my talents, I could be using more of my skill. And there's one more to this list that Abraham Maslow actually added towards the end of his life, and this is self-transcendence. Self-transcendence, and this is at the very, very top of the pyramid. And self-transcendence is when you go beyond the physical and recognize that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. This is recognizing that we are all connected, and that we are more than just our bodies. And this can be characterized in people spending a lot of time in meditation, maybe reading a lot about certain philosophies that really hammer this message in. And some yogis, go off into the mountains and just just meditate all day, and they literally just transcend this body. And he says that this is at the top of the pyramid. And what you can see, you should start to lay out a foundation for what is governing our behavior at the present time. And if you have a problem in your life, it's probably to do with one or more of these areas. And the good thing about understanding this structure is you start to understand that you can work on all these areas all at once at different times. I believe that was one of the criticisms of the hierarchy, is that I believe Abraham Maslow was saying that you have to work on one and then you get to the other. But really, you could work on your physiological needs by learning to eat healthy, and learning to hydrate and sleep well and do all these different things. And then you work on your financial needs. And one of the things I want to add to the information that is the hierarchy of needs, is how we can use this to help us, is first we identify a problem in our life and say, where is this on the list? And then we either find a mentor that can help you with this area, and you study them, find people who are achieving the results that you want in that area. So in terms of like health, you look towards mentors who are already achieving the health and vitality that you wish to have. And then you ask yourself, like, are you actually willing to be coached, or willing to learn? Are you able to accept change? And you go about learning whatever you need to learn until that area is handled. And recognize that you'll initially go through 4 main processes in developing a new behavior. The first is unconscious incompetence. This is where you're engaging in the wrong behavior and you don't even know it. And then you'll move on to unconscious competence, where you're still engaging in the wrong behavior, but you know you're doing it wrong. You know that there's a better way. And then you graduate onto conscious competence, where you are now engaging in the right behavior. However, it's taking a lot of focused effort. And then the last is unconscious competence, where you are doing the correct behavior and now it's automatic. And how long does this take? There are many different philosophies on how long it takes to get to unconscious competence, regarding to whatever behavior you want to adopt based on Maslow's hierarchy of need in whatever area you're working on. However, from my experience, I know there's different people saying 21 days, 30 days, etc., 40 days. From my experience, anything longer than a month, like maybe 40 days, 60 days, is a better goal than just say 21 days or 30 days. However, I can see the appeal for a month or 21 days because it doesn't seem as big in people's minds. And if that's a way to initially get into it, then that's great. However, for me, doing a lot of 30-day challenges, I find that doing a challenge that's longer than 30 days is more beneficial, because after 30 days, you're really starting to get in the dance of it. You know what I mean? You're starting to get into the dance, and if you stop there, you run the risk of really slowing down the momentum that you've built over the month. So that's my recommendation. Go for say 2 months in formulating a habit. Learn from me, etc. And yeah, with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video on Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you like this video, if you find this video useful, helpful, please like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment below. What areas are you working on in relation to Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs? And just a final recap of the hierarchy: there's the physiological needs, there's a need for security, there's a need for social connection, esteem, self-actualization, and finally, a need for self-transcendence. Peace, love, veganism. Have an awesome day.